If you're not familiar with it, I just want to quickly tell you that it helps, it's very low impact. It builds strength, enhances stability, improves balance, and it'll add a whole new component to your workout routine. And we want you to know how to use it, get excited about it. So, starting now, there is a sign-up sheet at the transportation desk. We are offering free personal training to each and every one of you for 30 minutes, and we're going to keep offering it till we know everyone has learned to use the equipment. So if you're interested, right now we have Tuesdays and Thursdays available. We have all completed a course on the TRX equipment and ready to go in the personal training. You probably haven't met Carson. She's doing her internship with us. She's been going with me to pre-hike everything and training on the TRX machines. So you can work with her on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and as soon as Keisha says she's ready to go, we'll be offering Wednesdays as well. And as soon as we complete the hiking program, we'll be offering a Monday. So you'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings to choose from. So please get signed up. It'll only take you 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. Especially if you already like exercise. Just joking. Anyway, speaking of that, we have 3 more hikes, and those are going to be, this coming Monday, we're going to be at Mount Sequoia. We're going to be completing the forest therapy program. It's going to be the true forest therapy. I'm going to teach it just the way that it was taught. This is a program coming out of Japan, Shinrin-yoku, where they have done a lot of research on what it takes to use being out in nature to get healthier. If you don't want to just do the forest therapy, afterwards we're going to hike up to the top and then get picked up if it's not too muddy. If it's too muddy, I'm going to reschedule the hike for a later date. So after that, we're going to be going out to Gregory Park, which is just on College. And if you've not been, we are so lucky to have a wooded trail in the center of town. When you get on that trail, you're going to feel like you've left Fayetteville, but you're right in the center. It's going to be a natural trail with a picnic, because they're all picnics this semester. And then our final one will be Kohler Mountain in Bentonville. It's a paved trail, but if you feel like that's too easy, we're going to have a stair climb for those that want to. But if you don't want to do the stair climb, you can sit and get coffee and watch the rest of us. So please sign up for one of those hikes. If you've signed up for a hike, please do not forget by Friday, today, by 2, to sign up for your picnic lunch. So that's what we have with the hikes. Speaking of forest, nature, and all of that, we have just added a fire pit right outside the lodge, and we're going to be doing teas and cocoa and enjoying fire and our wonderful outdoor area. And I'm going to be launching those dates through Telegram. So if you're not signed up for the Telegram fitness announcement, please get signed up. That's the way that you'll hear first and foremost about things that are happening. And we'll be announcing, hey, tonight, join us for cocoa, tea, maybe wine at the fire pit. So please get signed up for that. And I'm continuing to work on new and exciting things, so stay tuned, get on Telegram, get signed up for the hikes, and most importantly, get signed up for the TRX suspension. You will like it, it will pay off, and it will not take you long to learn it. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. First, I would like to thank residents for your contributions and your support of the Butterfield Trail Village Foundation. There are so many wonderful services that we can offer residents through your kind donations, and I just want to recognize you today and tell you you are recognized and appreciated. Okay, moving on to programs and events. We have updated and revised our sign-up sheets that are at the transportation desk for outings. And I would ask that next time you sign up, coming up for the November events, that you pay close attention to these sign-up sheets. It has specific directions that will help streamline what the drivers have to do to get you where you need to go. It involves one name per line. If you have a guest, we need the name of the guest, and they're your guest on the sign-up sheet. Carriage Club, just so you'll know, are to sign up through an event registration site. And so their names are not going to be on these sign-up sheets that are here for you, just in case you weren't aware of that. So please pay attention to this, and it will help us organize, and when we have cancellations, we can move people up, and that's myself, Michael, or the drivers are the one that moves the names up, just so we know who's going. So if you have any questions about that, please ask Roger, Michael, or myself. The residents have organized another resident caring and sharing giveaway. And the previous one we had was such a huge success, and employees loved it. And we thank you so much for that. The next one that's coming up is scheduled for Monday and Tuesday, November 3rd and 4th. Residents who would like to donate outerwear, winter outerwear, like if you have no longer have coats, heavy sweaters, hats, gloves, scarves, boots, things of that nature that you would like to donate, and then residents come and they select things that would benefit their families. And this time, because it is closed, they would like you to contact your children and or grandchildren, and if they have coats that are in good condition but they no longer need, the employees can gather things that would benefit their children. And if you have any questions about that, you can contact Marilyn or Kathy Baird. And thank you, ladies, so much for putting this together. We appreciate it. Okay, just touching on a few things coming up. Your November calendar will be in your box next week, and then I'll turn the meeting over to Kevin. Wednesday the 5th, at the request of residents, we are hosting an American Red Cross blood drive. There is no age limit as long as you have as long as you do not have a chronic disorder like diabetes or something, you're eligible to donate. And we will have 3 or 4 stations set up here in the performance hall, and we always need blood, and you know the story about that. There's a sign-up sheet at the transportation desks with specific appointment times. So again, that's another way we can keep organized, and the staff from American Red Cross would greatly appreciate that. If you have any questions about the drive, contact me, or I can put you in touch with the person I'm working with. Okay, our resident lecture series is going quite well. November the 6th, our resident lecture will be given by Bill Mitch Mitchell. Many of you know Mitch. He was the former CEO of the Walton Art Center, and we love the Walton Art Center. So if you want to get the story, behind the scenes story, you need to come listen to Bill. Most of you know Larry Foley, University of Arkansas Journalism Department, an extraordinary filmmaker, will be screening a new film here at Butterfield Trail Village about one of our own, and that will be James Burton Blair, Jim Blair. So I definitely hope you can come support that and be keeping the Blairs in your thoughts and prayers. We'll be hosting a lunch and learn with the University of Arkansas Mullins Library. You sign up, and we're having a presentation from Special Collections on historic Fayetteville. So they have agreed to bring some of their special collection items, and they'll be on display. They'll have a PowerPoint, and even if you think you know a lot about Fayetteville, come hear it anyway. I think you'll really enjoy it. The Director of Nursing, Vicki Prince, has worked with professionals to bring a educational series to the residents of Butterfield on dementia. And there'll be a 2-part series. One day we'll have a morning session and an afternoon session on learning about and educating ourselves on dementia. And then the second session will involve applications to dementia. So if you're caring for someone that has dementia, or you have a neighbor, these are different ways that you can apply applications that would help them through their journey. And tonight is the Employee Halloween Carnival. Thank you so much for everyone who's donated candy. I can't see Alice when I go in her office because she has so much candy hanging out. And after this meeting, this room will be transformed into a fun room for the kids to come tonight in their costumes. All the ghouls and goblins will be here, and they'll get a dinner, and they'll have games. And so please stop by, have a little fun with the kids, meet the employees, and we appreciate all your support in that regard. Any questions? All right, I'll turn the meeting over to Kevin Spears.
All right, good morning. We're very excited this morning to present our architect and how the assisted living plans have come together at this point. We, at Butterfield, we've seen several changes and enhancements over the last 40 years with the addition of the cottages, the village homes, the lodge, the performance hall, the bistro, and I know there were times where you're thinking, well, why in the world are we doing that? We don't need that, but then you can't find a table in the bistro at lunchtime right now. So it was all, and right now we think, what will we do without these things? And this is another enhancement we feel like will add to the community, and with a beautiful building and a premier building that we're going to build. And this is being done for several reasons. And I mentioned that Monday night that we'll have a question and answer session to talk about the finances and the particulars, but today is really about the architecture. But the number one goal was to meet the needs of the residents. And of course, number two is to right-size the community. We have a right-sized skilled unit. We have a right-sized memory care for the moment. But we're not right-sizing our assisted living with just 15 beds. So we seek advice from industry experts, and Greystone is one of those who own and operate about 40 community or facilities across the country. And the recommendation is 10 to 15% of your population, you should have assisted living beds for 10 to 15% of the population. Well, right now we're licensed for 15. We're licensed for 32, but we have 15 beds. But with the occupancy, we run an average of about 11 or 12 people in assisted living. So with this addition, of course, that'll put it in 10 to 15% of our population puts us between 40 and 65 is the deed. But what we're looking at is an addition of 40 beds, which would put us at a max if all at capacity, and if all built out would be 55 would be the max capacity, with 12 of those already in assisted living. So the way we came to find the Chansey firm, we interviewed several firms. We looked in several publications online, Senior Housing Magazine, and we narrowed it down to about 5 that we were going to interview. And after we had interviews with all 5 of those, we felt like the Chansey firm really met the need that we needed and really saw the vision that we had for what this should be for the community. So I will introduce Larry Newsom, who will introduce his staff and let you know where we are in the building. So please welcome Larry.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's doing fine today. I'm here to present your new assisted living expansion. And I wanted to try to let you know that this is the first of 2 presentations that we're going to do. So the first one, we're going to give you a general overview and talk about the exterior building design. The second one, which will be probably more toward the end of the year, will be focusing more on the interior design and the amenities inside the building. So I kind of wanted to kind of let you know that. Let's see if I can operate your system here. So a little bit about us. Chansey Design Partnership is a 35-year-old company. We are focused on senior living and healthcare related projects. We have 2 offices in Florida. Our main office is in historic Ybor City in Tampa. We're licensed in about 18 states right now, and we've done projects as far as Idaho, Pennsylvania, and Texas for our clients. And we're a full service firm. My background, I've got I hate to say this, over 48 years of experience now doing this. And I've been with Chansey for 35 years at its inception. And I've done all sorts of projects, including skilled nursing, a lot of different types of senior housing projects, both ground up, renovations, additions, and repurposing. I'll let Jennifer talk about herself.
And
She's one of our lead interior designers.
hello, my name is Jennifer Bedore. So I'm one of the partners on the interior design side. So I'll be talking a little bit more about the interiors of the project. But we wanted to first off say thank you very much. Ooh. Thank you very much for choosing us and letting us come here today and present. We're really excited about helping to expand your beautiful community. And as you can see, I have about 17 years of experience in the interior design world. About 12 of that has been focused on senior living communities. Before that, I was also in hospitality, so I have a strong background in hospitality and senior living. And next, let's get into our project. So our project, as Kevin mentioned, there'll be about 40 beds, 38 new units that are larger than the existing assisted living units. They're going to have great upgrades such as beautiful finishes, quartz countertops, larger closets, larger refrigerators than what's there existing, and a great way to help you interact with not only the new building, but the existing community. Oh, that's what it is? Okay. All right. Larry, you want to talk a little bit more about the dining venue?
Yes, one of the goals that Kevin and his group wanted to make sure we provided is a new dining destination. So it's a cafe-type style, healthy food venue, similar to a Cava-style fresh food concept. I'm sure probably your chef will be going over his menu with that, and it looks like it's a really nice addition. It'll be available to both the assisted living residences as well as the entire community. And we're very excited to kind of get that going.
And then another great aspect of this building that we wanted to highlight was the connection to the outdoors. You have such a beautiful campus, beautiful weather, maybe not today, but beautiful weather. And we're going to be expanding the current assisted living does have a nice little courtyard, but we're going to be expanding that and giving you a much larger courtyard setting with walking paths, fire pit area, fountains, and outdoor dining spaces. So you can really take advantage of the outdoors and the beautiful weather. Next, we wanted to kind of go into our process. So Larry's going to go a little bit more in how we started the project, where we're at, and where we're going to continue.
Yes, the initial planning phase, we met with Kevin and their management and marketing team to understand what their views were and goals were for this project. We ended up doing a programming for the overall building and came up with a concept design. After that was approved, we moved into the design development phase, which includes construction and permitting documentation. We're roughly about a third of the way through that phase right now. And then after we get the permit, the construction phase begins. They'll initiate the work, and we'll make sure that we minimize disruption to the existing assisted living facility because that building will remain open while the construction is underway. And then we will be doing ongoing coordination. We'll have weekly joint progress meetings with the contractor, Butterfield's management team, operations, to ensure we have consistent updates and we can keep to budget, schedule, and the original design intent. And then finally, everything will be the final delivery of the project. It'll include an operational launch, furniture installation, and then at the very end, we'll have the nice grand opening, which we hope to be part of. Let's see. This is roughly our timeline. We're going to finalize the design and the permitting documents first quarter of 2026. Groundbreaking is expected to occur second quarter of 2026. It's about a 14-month construction project. And then the grand opening would occur around the second quarter of 2027.
So, how we came to how this building's gonna look. I like to call this the fun part. So, this is where our firm, we really like to take inspiration from the community itself and the city that you're living in, that you all value and hold dear to your heart. So, some of the things that we've learned about Fayetteville and the surrounding areas is the beautiful environment that you have, those Ozark Mountains. As you can see, we have a beautiful picture of the fall time that inspired us for the color scheme. And this color scheme that we're showing on the right is more for the interiors, which after the presentation, if you have a couple minutes, we have some samples over here that you can kind of get a little preview of what's to come for the interiors. But we really felt bringing in that environment into the design would help this feel like home to you. Another aspect is your history. You know, of course, your namesake, the Butterfield Trail, the original trail for the mail back in the 1800s, bringing in that concept of connecting the east to the west, and now your trails that you have today for biking and hiking that connect you from Fayetteville to the surrounding cities, all are things that we value, and we hope you value as well, that we'd like to showcase in the building. Some of the other aspects are your environment, like I said before, so the Fayetteville Shale, you know, bringing in textures and colors from the environment, and the activity that you have. We want to provide a lot of activity inside the building and outside the building that will help you feel at home. So next we're going to go into what the building's going to look like. So we have a little bit of a video that's going to show you what the building will look like when it's built. Oh, actually, sorry. I was rushing ahead.
She wants to get to the good part quicker. This is the original, shows the original existing assisted living, which is right here. And this is the new addition. The existing building is roughly 9,360 square feet. It has 12 residential suites in it and about 900 square foot of outdoor garden area. And this is the footprint of the new addition that gets connected. What we'll be doing is taking the porte-cochere or the covered drop-off off of the end of this building, and this will be the new main entrance for the overall project. Okay, this is, the new building is two-story. It's 43,460 square feet. It has 38 new residences. 32 of those residences have outdoor balconies. We have amenity areas inside, which we'll go over in more detail here in a few minutes. We have a 4,060 square foot enclosed courtyard garden area with amenities that we'll talk about again when we get to those slides. And then we have 91 standard spaces. The parking lot got reduced slightly to try to fit the building in. Okay, I think this is the movie she was referencing. I don't know, there we go.
Yeah, so
Go ahead, Jennifer.
as you're walking around, you see that main entry. We've got the outdoor dining on the right. We have bike areas. And then as you wrap around, this is going to be the new business and marketing section of the building. So that's the main entrance of the marketing section right there. We'll also fill out with landscaping that will help blend into the existing beautiful landscaping that you have in this community. As you can see, we are bringing in finishes of the rock siding that you have elsewhere. We're bringing in colors that blend into the existing buildings with the, darker tones and softer siding. As you wrap around, this is the start of the residential units. So you can see those beautiful big balconies that will have access and views of the cottages and other locations of the campus. And then as we wrap around, this center portion right here is some common area space that will be outside. So these will, when we get into the floor plan, you'll see these are 2 living spaces that will go in more detail, but they'll have outdoor spaces for you to sit with fans and lighting. And then this is additional units that will wrap around the building. Now, as we're coming around to this side, we're going to start previewing that outdoor space that we referenced earlier.
Just so you know too, I failed to mention this, but we're going to be removing and reusing a lot of the existing trees that are on the site to fit the building in. We wanted to make sure we kept as many of the existing trees as possible.
And then you can see, of course, this is the existing assisted living building and how they interact together. Now we're going to start going into that outdoor courtyard space. And we're going to start off showing the new fire pit lounging area. And as you can see off to the right now, there'll be a community garden with raised garden beds. And here's a nice, great shot of that fire pit sitting area. And our walking path that will also lead to outdoor dining space. And there's also unit balconies on this side as well. And here's the outdoor dining with a community table. Also, fans will be in there too, so you can join it all year long. An outdoor fountain and resting area. And as we slowly fly up, you'll see the whole building just in a minute. And you can see how the two buildings interact. So again, yes, as Larry said, we're going to be keeping as many of the existing trees as possible and bringing in additional landscaping. And there's the two buildings together. Okay. And then, Larry, you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah.
Oh, it keeps going. There.
Okay, these are some shots of, still shots of the exterior. You kind of saw the overall video of it. We've indicated, we put some bike racks here because we know this is a big bicycling community. The new covered entry will replace the existing one, so this will be your new entry for the overall project. And then we have dining from the cafe to the right. Let me see if I can get this pointer to work. Over here. So you'll have a dining area from the cafe that's available here. On the other side, there'll be a sitting area, and our main entrance is there in the center. As Jen mentioned, this is the east end of the building that shows the offices and new marketing offices. This is a back view going around the corner to the west. And this is an enlargement of the courtyard area. It's much larger than your existing one you have. She mentioned the new arbor and fire pit seating area, community garden, and a fountain that's adjacent to the outdoor dining terrace. That's a shot. I think you saw that with the video. There's another shot of the dining terrace. And this is the overall plan. This is your drop-off. This is your drop-off with a main entry, some seating here, bistro or cafe here, new commercial kitchen on the back side of this. And then this is your new reception center. And I'll let Jennifer go over some of the other amenities.
Yes, so the reception, let me give you the pointer. So the reception is as soon as you walk in the center of that porte cochere, you'll walk straight into the reception. administrator, your director will be right in there, so you'll have access to them. You'll have, as you walk into the building, as Larry mentioned, as you walk into the building, to the right will be that new bistro that will be open to the entire community. So it'll be easy access for anyone not currently living in this, but wants to come and enjoy that bistro. And then as you walk in from the entry, you'll go into the main dining space that we have currently. This portion of the large portion of the dining space has about 38 seats. And if you look just to the bottom of that is a multi-purpose, but also an expanded dining area. So this area can be expanded to have a total of 54 seats. And this area of the multi-purpose can be closed off for a meeting venue as well. So you can have your Rotary meetings and have a nice private area for events. Then to the left of the dining is that outdoor dining venue that we have, where there's a community table. You can have a beautiful view of the fountain and have the sounds of the fountain, a nice relaxing area to dine. And then as you go down the hall, we'll have a separate mail area, and packages will be there too. So the packages have its own separate room. And you go further down, we have more event space. We have a theater that would be great for those Razorback football games or basketball games. And it can also be as a meeting space as well. So you'll have a couple meeting spaces in this new building. And then across the hall from that is a card room that can have a dedicated puzzle area. And it can also be later used as a meeting space. So you have plenty of places to meet in this main common area. As you keep walking down, you'll have your public restrooms that everyone can use, and then your elevator that will take you up to the second floor. And in the next slide, we'll go over a little bit more that's on the second floor. And then as you keep going down, this is your main residential area. So on each side of the hall are residential units. And then straight down is one of the living spaces that we saw in the video that had the outdoor space. So this living space will have an electrical fireplace, and it also has a great place to have group meetings, and it also will have some private seating areas that you can have more intimate conversations. And then at the end of the hall, this is the marketing. It won't be accessed through the main building, but this at the end of the hall is that marketing building that we highlighted in the video. And then on the other side of that residential hallway is a dedicated guest laundry room. So anyone can use these laundry facilities. And there's one on each floor. So you'll see when we go to the next floor, you'll see the other one. Then on the second floor, you'll arrive here on the elevator lobby. And this is mainly residential units that'll be on this floor. But we have a couple amenities up here as well. As I mentioned, all the way at the end is that guest laundry. And then again, in the middle is another living space with additional outdoor space, and as well as a library. So this will be more of a quiet area with a library setting, and then an additional lounge seating that you can have meetings or conversations. Also up here is a fitness room. So we can have fitness classes, yoga, Tai Chi can all be happening in this fitness room as well. There's a shower room if needed. And then at the end of this hall is the business center. So this can be connected to the residential units, but this will be the business department right here. As you can see, a lot of these units, almost all of them have the outdoor balconies. Yes, and these, good point. Let me make sure I'm using the right pointer. These, yes, 12-foot balconies. And we went ahead and I skipped the slide to the next one. Yeah, okay. So yeah, these are 12-foot balconies, so plenty of space for a dining venue or lounge seating out here. And then these start our units. So we'll have 6 different unit types. So these are 2 of the studio units. Want to keep talking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
And I'll follow up.
Okay. So these units have larger kitchenettes with apartment-sized refrigerators, sink and faucet for you to use, storage. We've included additional closets versus the units that are now. Large bathrooms with a shower and nice amenity storage space. As you walk into the bedrooms, you'll have plenty of bedroom area as well as a lounge TV viewing area. These have what are called VTAC air conditioning units that Larry can go in a little bit more detail, but tend to be quieter than more traditional. And then most of the units do have balconies that are about 6 feet deep, so a little bit deeper than the independent unit apartments currently. This is another studio unit. This particular unit is one of the ones that don't have a balcony, but you can see same spacious living area, bedroom area, multiple closets, large bathroom, and a kitchenette.
Yeah, one of the things I'll mention, these units are approximately 15% larger than your existing studios and one-bedroom apartments that you have currently. As Jen mentioned, the VTAC units, it's more of a stand-up HVAC unit in its own separate insulated closet, so these become much quieter than what you're used to kind of seeing in some of the PTAC installations. And it's an energy-efficient unit. Like we mentioned earlier, 32 of these 38 units have balconies. Some of them are very large, like this unit you're seeing here. There's the one-bedroom unit, and then we've got a longer studio unit on the right. Big walk-in closets. And this one here is this is a corner unit. We have 2 of these units with double beds, double queen-size beds with large walk-in closets. Yeah, I'll let Jennifer go over the interior concept.
So as I mentioned before, we talked a little bit about inspiration that we gleaned from the area and your community. This is a preview for our next presentation, and the next presentation will be a lot more of the interiors and a lot more about the amenity spaces and a lot more about the design. But we wanted to give you a little preview and talk through how we've got to where this is. As you can see, the color palette pulls from those environments, the Ozark Mountains, the fall colors. So you can see us starting to bring these in a variety of things, tiles that have the textures, fabrics that have the colors. We wanted to bring in the warmth from your community, the beautiful woodwork that you have already throughout your buildings, bringing that in to the new building. It could be through the flooring. It will probably be in some accents, and you can see that one slide of the dining space, bringing in rich wood tones. You'll have a library space that you can use, and fabrics and finishes. We always like to elevate the design with wall covering accents similar to what you have in your new dining venue here. And one of the carpets or patterns that we wanted to bring in, we wanted to pull in those trails. So things that inspired us were those trails and bringing in those patterns that help you recognize where you are. This is also a preview to your units, your homes. On the right is on the right is a recent project we completed. This one is in Florida, so not quite the same finishes we'd like to bring in here. We'd like to, glean more to your environment with warmer finishes. But this gives you a sense. The kitchenettes you'll have will be larger than what you see in this picture. But we'd like to bring in warmer tones in the flooring and bronze finishes in the plumbing fixtures and accessories. We want to keep them neutral and classic for you so you can bring in your own personality when you move in. Here is a concept photo of the bathroom. Your bathrooms will be about this size or a little bit bigger. And again, you can see the same neutral color palette will be brought in with warm tones so that you can bring in what you want and make it your home. And that is what we'd like to show you today. Again, we're really proud to be here. We're honored that you chose Chansey. And if you have any questions, we're here for you. We also have some samples that if you'd like to come up when we're done and take a look at before you leave.
If you have any questions, please raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you.
There are houses that have been built on the south side of where this is all going to go. You don't show them there, so I don't know how far they are away, and I assume the people who are living there are going to be concerned about this big building.
Do you have a site plan that you could do an overlay? So that then we could actually see where things are now in relation to okay, so,
Yeah, so. and
There
there's
we
a-
are.
There's a
Okay.
pretty good distance between that duplex to the south and this building. And we're also going to be planting additional trees between the two, which will help buffer that. We, probably with our next presentation, we'll actually have these, duplexes actually rendered, so you can actually kind of see the height differences and some of the views from those, or between those.
Hold on. Yeah.
I would like to know what considerations you're putting into this design for the acoustics, especially in public spaces. You pointed out many places that could be used for group gatherings, meetings, the cafe over there. I mean, we have not had a very good experience in this building. This performance hall, I think, has very good acoustics. We spent millions on the dining room renovation and then had to spend a lot more to retrofit acoustic tiles. The lodge over there, I find almost impossible in a large group to have a conversation with somebody even right next to me. It's like a joke. So
I understand.
I would really urge you to do top-notch, highest grade acoustic considerations.
Yeah, and I want to mention something.
Yes, totally understand that. And I think a lot from interior side is a lot of finishes. So there's a couple things that we can do to help mitigate sound. One is, I know what Larry's going to mention, so I'll let him mention that. Finishes, right? So I know your current dining room has tile. It has those wood chairs, the wood siding. There's a lot of hard finishes in that dining room, which helps bounce sound off everywhere. So we can come in and we can bring in softer finishes, carpeting, more upholstered goods. So, and bringing in from the interior side, monitoring those finishes and where the hard finishes are and where the soft finishes are, help with that. Another aspect of the interiors that we can do to help mitigate the sound is ceiling heights. Having lower ceilings in some of those areas can help bring sound in. Acoustical ceiling tiles are another great way. So there's a couple items that we can do interiors wise to help mitigate those reverberations off of the finishes. I'll let Larry talk about some more technical ways that we can do it as well.
Well, I'll try anyway. If you notice between the two floors, that the main dining spaces and most of the common area spaces, there's no real apartment units over those. So that'll kind of help mitigate any sound between the apartments and those common area spaces on the first floor. We also, when we do our building design, there is a standard code required sound and impact rating that you're supposed to meet. We're always trying to go above that because we know sound's a very big item in these type of projects. And we'll look into that much harder. And we also will be using insulation in various areas. And the ceiling heights in these structures are 12 feet in the main floor. And we forgot to mention this, I wanted to bring this up. Your unit ceiling heights in the existing building are 9. These ceiling heights in these units will be 10. And we're going to make sure we cover the sound a lot better for you, because we know that's a big issue. We've seen that in other facilities. No, I don't think we're going to do that.
I wanted to ask about the gray that's on those buildings. Is that going to happen, that we'll get the stonework just in the fronts or just in the lower areas, and then it'll all be gray going up to the roof?
Let me go back to those elevations. So yes, we've used stone accents around the bottoms of the building. This building has got a big grade change from your existing assisted living to the back side where we're putting most of this building. So that lower section that you kind of see here, all stone, that's almost the grade level, you know, here at the roadway. So it slopes considerably down. So this is actually a retaining wall, you know, to mitigate that slope. I don't know if I answered your question.
I think I know. So there's finishes up here that you can see. So they're warmer colors that actually they are matching, or they're not matching, but they're in the same tone as a lot of your existing buildings. So yes, so some of the siding is a soft cream color, and then some of the accents are a darker, warmer gray tone, and then the trim is a dark bronze tone. So we'll have bronze finishes.
And the reason we didn't do a lot of stone all the way up the building is we're also trying to mitigate our, you know, get our budget within the right range. So the stonework is very expensive, and we're just trying to make sure we can give you guys a good building with a good budget.
I have a question about the orientation of the living units. All of those units that face west, we live near there and have a west-facing living space, and we have to keep our blinds pulled from noon till the sun goes down every day. The heat is brutal coming in, and the light is very strong, and there's no, if you don't have some protection, all of those lovely views to the west will be blocked by curtains from noon till the sun goes down.
Okay, well, we can't control the sun entirely.
Control way the living units face.
Well, I think in that particular end unit there that you're seeing that's on the west side, I believe that is this one here. So the bedroom is on this side, so the bedroom will be shielded, and the living room, I think we've minimized some of the windows on that side of the building. But we'll have blinds, of course, to shade that. There's going to be things like that. We can't control all the views of the sun, so we have to kind of do this the best we can. So we'll do what we can do to try to minimize those types of impacts.
Talking about the sound, we happen to be in one of the two little adjoining houses. There is roar. You can hear the roar from the main highway and all along the side on Old Missouri where this is going to be. It's between two main streets. And I'm sure the people who live on the north side of the building now have a lot of problem with it. Needs tremendous sound well beyond super insulation. And for our home, we're even looking at some things that can be put on the wall that are sound panels that don't even have to be, they don't even damage the walls to attach them, and they're not expensive.
Well,
But it's just, it is the roar on that, and it's now a 2-lane. And we have apartments going in on the north and on the west. The traffic is only gonna get
I
a
understand.
lot greater.
I'm not sure if your existing cottage windows are single pane, but all of these,
They're double pane.
they are double insulated? Okay. That'll help a lot. Most of your sound ends up coming through your windows, not really through the wall because the transmission rate on the glass. But we'll do the best we can to try to mitigate any sound issues for you.
A couple questions. One is, are these windows going to open? And the second question is, you showed a reception area, but where are the nurses going to hang out?
Okay, the nurse hangouts, let's see. We have a nurse station here on the first floor. And what was your first part of your question? I'm sorry. Yes, the unit windows will open. We're showing, I think we're showing single-hung windows right now. I know some of your other apartments have actual casement windows, but these are more of a single-hung style window. And then we have the nurse station both pretty much in the same location on each floor. So there's one here too, centralized off the elevator.
Along with all the sound is all the air pollution that we're surrounded by from all these vehicles. And I know we have air filters in our home that we run because you can only imagine what all these vehicles are putting out, and that's all gonna get worse. So good air quality control.
Right, we have makeup air units on the roof, and those have a very high filtration system. Probably a lot better than some of the buildings, the older buildings that you have now. There's new units now that help that quite a bit.
I'd like to say something from here in the back. I think that really the train is already out of the station in regard to a lot of these plans. But I think we need to stop and think about the fact that what you're planning is more of a luxury than any of us will have in independent living or in the other assisted living. How would you feel if you were a person in the old assisted living and watching then the kind of accommodations that the people had in the new assisted living was getting? Same is true of independent living, and that is the fact that this accommodates a very small portion of the resident population. I regard it as the Taj Mahal of all assisted living. And there are other things too that I'm extremely concerned about, and that is the cost. It is going to increase the cost. We do not need another eating venue here. We've got the bistro. We've just spent thousands of dollars on renovating the new dining room, which really is never full. It just creates all sorts of new problems that we need to consider. And the bottom line, in my opinion, it is going to be way, way out of bounds in terms of the cost. Don't believe for a minute it will not increase our monthly fees. The fact that we may fund it through a bond issue will spread the cost. Of course, bonds cost something when you have a bond. It will spread it over, of course, a number of populations here over the time, but don't think for a minute it's not going to affect our monthly fees. So there are things that I'm thinking about now, and I really hope that you will too. If we have this new assisted living, I don't think we need all that has been described today. when we plan things, we ought to consider what we have to have, what would be nice to have, and then finally, what is over the top. Thank you.
Okay, I can't speak to some of that, but.
All right, so the current assisted living residents will have the option to move to the new building. And the thought with the new building was to give, it shouldn't be, if you go to assisted living, that you have fewer amenities or it's a downgrade for you. So the idea was to build an assisted living to where if you moved to assisted living, you would still have all the amenities that you did when you were in this building. And that was our point in doing that. And no, we would move everyone over. We would look at renovating or upgrading the new one. We would not wipe out the old assisted living. We would, there's a couple of options that we would have. We could renovate it and use it. We'll have enough license to use it as a current assisted living, or we could renovate it and use it for independent living if that's what, because you could create 7 or so independent living units, or you could keep it as 15 assisted living units. So we would have some options there. But as far as the cost goes, we'll be able to demonstrate it. And there's a lot of people working on the cost. We have the industry experts. So you also have strategic development. You have the board and the board finance that are working on it as well. So,
Like this, it has to be staffed, has to have nursing assistants, all sorts of things that are going to cost more. And it's just a misleading statement to say that it won't make a lot of difference in our monthly fees as we pay now and for the future residents.
all right, they will be able to hopefully demonstrate in a future meeting in the next few weeks. We'll be able to, once all the decisions are being made, once we'll be able to show you.
I would like to know, one of the things that we were concerned about is the lack of accessibility to the lovely things that we continue to have here in our big facility. I don't see any sort of access on the corner of that building that would make it the current assisted living connected even. I don't even see a door over there. How are they going to get out of assisted living and get over here to the performance hall to see all the wonderful things we have here? I don't see a door.
Well, they can call for transportation, because if they're in assisted living, they may not want to walk up, but they'll be. I mean, they could either walk out the front door and walk down the Fargo Street sidewalk, or.
Got a connection there to get
Yeah,
you to the front.
That's right. That, where you see the sidewalk on the north side is where it currently is. Right in the middle there.
Right in here on the existing now. We're just moving the main entry over. There's still a connection here and a connection to the outdoor space.
Transportation services offered all day long for assisted living residents.
Yes. Got somebody. The basic question, we are told that we need roughly 10%, which would be 42 people or 42 units. That is a subjective number. I guess the primary thing is if it costs $12 to $14 million, which it appears to me that will be about the cost to finish it out and furnish it. If it costs that, what's the occupancy rate that's needed to float that debt? That's the basic question. If we're going to fill it up, we are adding, of course, 38 more people to the census here at Butterfield, because those 38 people that supposedly moves into, which right now, by the way, the waiting list averages about 15 people. I understand that those are prospective ones. Why wasn't that considered to be a number instead of the 50 or 10% that's a global, evidently, number? But if our need is based on that, we're a static community. We only have X number of spaces. They're pretty well filled up. Why wasn't that considered to be a static number that, once we move them in, will we have another 15 step up and take it? Because we're going to have to do that. The point being, can we fill it up? And we're making some moves. Everybody loves progress, but here, I think we like a good leaving alone sometimes too. So this, if it will support itself, and if the Butterfield residents are willing to add another 38 to 40 people to their census, then do it. I question whether or not, because I'm not going to be here to see it, whether or not the debt service can be covered. And I think, am I going?
Well, the debt service can definitely be covered. We've already determined that. But like I said, in a future meeting, we'll be able to, once it's all laid out. But I can tell you the formula kind of used was if we can grow by one resident per month, it funds itself. So the currently, and I've had probably 5 or 6 people come up to me, tell me they want to move in as soon as it's built already.
Well,
on top of the waiting list.
Okay, on top of the way, that's what you've had.
That's what I've had. That's who's come to me personally now.
But where are the rest of them going to come? I mean, people are going to die over there. They're not going there to stay forever. So people are,
Right.
as some of us are. Okay.
We're losing our crowd.
Yeah. The minute I start to speak. Okay.
I think Rick has a question. One more question here. Here comes a microphone, Rick.
While they're getting him a microphone, I have a more pedestrian question. I see a lot of stairs marked on the drawing. I don't know where the elevators are because I can't read the thing. I assume there are elevators there. But my question is, everywhere you look for an outdoor stairway, there should be a side designed for non-capable people of dealing with stairs, and that's not shown.
Yeah, the elevator core is in the center of the building, right here. Oh, sorry. The elevator core is in the center of the building, right here. That's our accessible exit in case of an emergency or an event.
How many elevators?
It's one elevator. We looked at multiple elevators before, but the size of this building and the amount of occupancy in this building, 2 are not really advantageous. This will be a faster speed elevator maybe than what you've got in some of your other buildings.
We have a lot of elevators.
Yeah, and it's also going to have a higher ceiling for furniture move-in, that type of thing. What's the warranty? Elevator lifetime. I'd have to go back and look at this. Have to go back and look at the specs on what we're presenting to do there, but. All of these elevators too, we didn't really talk much about the generator, but the elevator will be on emergency generator. Some of the food service side will be on the emergency generator, as well as all emergency systems and the low voltage systems. I don't know if this is a hydraulic elevator. It's a machine roomless type elevator. We've used those in a lot of projects and we've not had much problem with them failing, if that's kind of what you're getting at.
Well, I'd like to announce to people they need to stand in line because Buzz Baker and I have already reserved the lower right 2 apartments.
I just have one more thing I'd like to say,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
and that is this. This business of always wanting to increase the population of Butterfield is absolutely a very, very poor idea. We are a nonprofit. There is no reason in the world to keep increasing the population. Now, what that does when you increase the population is to put population pressure on every service and amenity, which means you've got to keep increasing staff. And I have noticed that our departments are getting larger in terms of staff. less supervision that is effective, and everywhere I see now, there is waste going on. And so it's also destroying the culture of Butterfield to keep increasing the number of people. Now, I know that this is the idea behind businessmen. In order to be successful as a CEO or a business person, you've got to keep expansion, you've got to keep growing. This does not fit what we need here at Butterfield.
All right, thank you. Are there any more questions? Ms. Fay has.
I want to tell you how happy the people are that are in assisted living right now. They love it. They are not complaining. If they need a ride, they get one. And why are we complaining? And another thing is, there's only 20 people on second floor. They won't be 60 or 70 trying to use the elevator every day. So think of that. And we have waiting lists. And I talked to people who are on our waiting list. They were wanting to come here. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Ms. Fay. All right, with that being said, we'll send out an invitation for the meeting. It'll probably be in a couple of weeks, maybe. I'm looking at probably the middle of November, or a little before, probably the 10th, 11th, 12th of November. I'll send you, make sure you have my email address. We can ask, you can send some questions ahead of time. That way you can have them, and we can have a appropriate, well thought out and thorough answer for you to have and hold in your hand, and something we can print out and give to you. But we'll also have that meeting where we can answer any and all of your questions. So, all right, we appreciate you being here. Thank you.